Thought for the day. Behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back.
Welcome to 7 Minutes for Yourself. I'm Christina Aina, and I'm so glad you've joined me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. Let's take this time to reconnect with ourselves and improve our well-being.
In today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself, we learn how to speed up success by tuning into the individuals that have already accomplished what we are seeking to accomplish. Have a listen.
You know, over the years, one of the most common questions I've gotten from people is around, how do I find a mentor? Or sometimes they don't even ask that. A lot of times I've just been asked to mentor someone I might not have any relationship with, haven't met before. And mentoring is a very involved process, right? Oftentimes I'll just say, well, what questions do you have? And I would say probably 70% of the people I don't hear from again. I don't get an email with questions. I don't get anything that says, oh, I understand what mentoring is and I have in mind exactly what I'm wanting to know from you. Here's the thing. If you are wanting to accelerate your progress, it can feel very tempting to reinvent the wheel, to think that you have to figure it all out yourself. But you don't. There are people who have already been where you're going. And anytime you have an opportunity to talk to someone who has that level of experience or wisdom in an area where you don't, it's good to be prepared to say, what do I want to know from them? What do I want to find out? From my perspective, I'm always curious to know what they did. What was the tipping point? What was the shift that they made, or the thing that they did differently that they really believed helped catapult them to where they are? Now, this could be true whether you are talking about your career and someone who has gotten to a level you want to go to, or a business that you're wanting to start or grow. This could be in relationships. Maybe there's someone you know and you just really admire their marriage and the tenacity that they've had. It might be a health goal that you have, somebody else has reached, or a financial goal. There are any number of goals that we can have where there are people around us who've been there and done that, and we can glean wisdom from them. We don't have to start from scratch and reinvent the wheel. And in fact, we can avoid a lot of mistakes by learning from other people's mistakes. So I've got 5 simple questions. You know I love questions because I love coaching. And so I think questions can be really powerful even in this circumstance where you're not coaching someone. But this is the idea of being prepared in advance, because you meet people every single day who are successful in certain ways. And if you are serious about your own personal growth, there's going to be a curiosity about what has led to another person's growth or another person's success. So it might have to do with the decision specifically around that goal, or they might answer it in a broader way. But often at a pivotal moment, successful people make decisions that might go under the radar as the best decision. That's why I love this question. Oftentimes you'll hear something that they say that you just never would have thought of around best decisions. So what is the best decision you've ever made, or that you ever made in this particular area? Like maybe it's a best relationship decision that they have made, or a best financial decision that was made, a best health decision that was made. And then just listen. Listen for what they're saying. And is this a decision that might be relevant for you and where you are? Second, what is the worst decision you've ever made? What's the worst decision? This is really about noticing, where might I go wrong? Is there something I haven't really thought of? But you want to listen carefully to this answer so you can avoid making a similar mistake. And you also want to understand the why behind it. Why was it the worst decision? What would they do differently if they could go back, or if they'd known better, what would they have done differently? I know when I think of some of my worst decisions, I realize that if I had just paid attention and had the courage to listen to what I already knew. So there have been decisions I've made that I knew deep down were probably not the right decision. But for other reasons, whether it was fear, usually it's fear, I went ahead and moved forward. The good news about that, I discovered, and I've encouraged a lot of people around this, if this is you, if you've ever made a really bad decision and then you're afraid later about your own ability to make good decisions, if you're honest with yourself and you realize, I had an inkling about that. I kind of knew something was telling me that's off. And then you've made the bad decision, you've suffered the consequence, and rather than acknowledging that you actually knew the right answer, but you didn't follow that right answer out of fear, if you don't acknowledge that, then you can doubt your ability to make good decisions. Instead, what you need to say is, I knew that was a bad decision. So next time, I'll know too. The difference is next time I'll have the courage to follow what I already know. If there's one thing you wish you had known when you started, what would it be? There's one thing you wish you had known when you started, what would it be?
That concludes today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Today and every day with your kiddo is a gift. Enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in.